King III holiday. Although I don't agree with this holiday because it exalts a human being. It's like, I don't know, I just don't agree with exalting a dead person, a human being. You're venerating it's like you're putting a dead human being on a pedestal, but we do that here in America, so I will respect the holiday for what it is, and I do appreciate the sacrifices that Dr. King made to further civil rights movement in regards to African Americans, which I am an African American, so my people, I do appreciate the sacrifices that he made for my people here in America. So on this day, we do keep him in our hearts and our memory, and all of the other civil rights leaders and workers and the people who were on the front lines during his time, under his leadership, who sacrificed their lives as well, because there were a lot of people who did so. But it just so happens on this day that Donald Trump is inaugurated into office for his second term as president. So it's very unusual. He was the 45th president before Joe Biden. Then he got voted out of office, and Joe Biden became the 46th president, and now Trump got voted back into office, and he became the 47th president. So it's really weird. I'm not into numerology, but I thought it was real weird that as the 45th president, 4 plus 5 equals 9, and then he's the 47th president, 4 plus 7 equals 11. So it's 9/11. That's well, strange coincidence, but maybe it's not. Like I said about the 45th president thing with Hitler, I said he has so many striking resemblances to Adolf Hitler that is creepy, because if my memory serves me correctly, Hitler became president or leader of Germany when he was 45 years old. He's a convicted insurrectionist, which today Trump incited an insurrection that resulted in, it was a violent insurrection that resulted in 5 people losing their lives. 5 people lost their lives as a result of that violent insurrection on January 6th. And Trump just pardoned all 1,500 people who were convicted. He gave them pardons and sentence commutations today. When he took office, when he assumed office, after he took the oath, he went in there and immediately started signing executive orders. And he also issued those pardons to those 1,500 people who participated in that violent insurrection on January 6th. They stormed the Capitol building, ransacked it, desecrated it, threatened congressmen and senators, threatened the vice president, Mike Pence. They wanted to hang him. If they would have found him, they probably would have killed him. And Trump encouraged all of it. So the only reason why he's not a convicted insurrectionist is because he won the election. Other than that, had he lost, Trump would probably be a convicted insurrectionist as well, because he did very much incite that violence. He encouraged those people. He supported those people. He rallied the troops, and they did what they did on January 6th. And they were arrested and convicted, a lot of them, but he just issued all of them pardons and sentence commutations. So that act alone will probably only embolden his base and a lot of these people, to just, Lord knows what will happen now, since he's given them pardons. They've been pardoned for their crimes, despite how violent and treasonous and murderous that it was. They've been pardoned for it. So on Martin Luther King Day, they got their pardons. Isn't that something? And that was one of the most white. It's Martin Luther King, and I just thought it was so offensive that on Martin Luther King Day, for the entertainment at this insurrection. I guess because it was Martin Luther King's day, they invited rappers to perform at the Liberty Ball for the insurrection. It was Snoop Dogg, it was rapper Rick Ross, Soulja Boy, and the rapper Nelly. They couldn't find no other entertainers besides rappers to perform at this ball. But people don't understand that's just further playing in our faces. The same way Kamala did too at her rallies, and she got Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and rappers to twerk and stuff at her rallies. They're playing in our faces. That was so both just offensive. It's just playing in our faces. They think that they equate, or they think that all of us relate to that is us as a whole, that we're monolithic people and those rappers represent us. That's what they think. And they play in our faces when they put them up there to perform in front of this lily white crowd, majority white crowd, overwhelmingly white crowd at this inauguration, at this formal ball now, at Liberty Ball. And you got these rappers jumping around on the stage, throwing up gang signs, talking about drugs. That they do that. It sends a message to the rest of the world when they do that, and it is very offensive to African Americans on Martin Luther King Day. But that went over so many people's heads. They didn't catch it. Some of us caught it. Some of us more awake people or woke people, we caught it. But that was just very offensive, and they're playing in our faces. And it just goes to show you too that you cannot put no stock in no celebrity. Don't look up to them. They're not role models. They are very controlled. They worship money. They worship fame, attention, to stay relevant. Then they will go to Trump's inauguration and perform. They'll go to anywhere. They'll go to a Klan rally. They'll dance in front of a cross burning just to keep their name out there and to put money in their pockets, because that's their principle. That's their main key principle, unfortunately. There's no other way to put it. That's just how it is. But anyway, yeah, he pardoned those insurrectionists today. He issued a lot of executive orders. They said over 200. With the immigrants, with the immigration, with the migrant crisis, he issued some executive orders. And I saw a news clip. I was watching the news this evening, and I saw a news clip of where he canceled all of their what's it called, CPB appointments, Customs Border Protection appointments, where they're trying to get into the country before an asylum hearing. It's like a advanced early. It's like a hearing before they get full asylum or something like that they would be able to enter the country. Well, anyway, Trump canceled all those when he signed those executive orders. And they got a news clip showing all those migrants at the border just waiting and crying and upset because they can't get into the country at this point. Some of them will still try to sneak in, but I do believe that Holman, the new border czar, is going to make good on his promise, and he's going to track down and hunt down a lot of them now. That border is about to be fortified. It's about to be fortified with state, federal, and maybe even local police cooperation, and maybe even National Guard. So the jig is up with the illegals and the border jumpers. It's up. The jig is up. And all the undocumented that are here and ain't supposed to be here, if they offering hotlines and rewards to turn y'all in, y'all best just self-deport. Just self-deport. Because even some of y'all own will turn you in. Even other documented Mexicans are supposed, even, those South Americans, whatever, even immigrants that are supposed to be here legally will turn you in. If they offer money, even Your own will turn you in, because money is the great, motivator. Money will bring about betrayal. Um, so I would just probably self-deport if I was a lot of, people that's, these anchor babies and stuff. Y'all better just get your babies and just go back down to, where you come from. Because my thing is this, they showed this woman, she crying at the border or whatever, and I'm like this, there are other places in South America she can go. She doesn't have to come to America. But then again, there are probably other countries those countries are not going to give her free health care, a cell phone, welfare and food stamps, housing, and all that stuff. She's not going to get all the free benefits in those other countries because they probably don't have the resources to accommodate a large influx of immigrants. Like America, we don't have it either, but we give it to them. This country gives it to them. It disperses it to them. But with Trump, I think that's about to stop. So I don't agree with putting kids in cages. But the thing is this. Those immigrants those illegals tried to game the system by having children over here and thinking that that was going to give them the right or give them the ability to remain over here without going through the immigration citizenship process. And Trump just ended that with those executive orders. And so now they have brought the consequences on themselves by trying to game the system. So their best option would be to take their kids and leave if you don't want to be separated from them. And when your kids grow up or get emancipated, or you let them live, they can come back because they would be citizens. But if not, you leave your kids with people if you have family members or people over here that are rightfully here, then give your kids to them. But you created that. Those immigrants created that problem for themselves when they tried to game the system and have those kids in order to remain over here without going through the process of gaining legal status, whether it be citizenship or, becoming naturalized or whatever. They have to go through the proper procedures, and just having a baby over here does not give you the right to remain over here and collect benefits and stuff just because you had a baby. You dropped kids over here. That's unfair. And they have a lot of kids. They have lots of kids. So that's a tremendous strain on resources. So also, like I said, a lot of them that come over here and they do get to remain over here legally, they will house other illegal migrants and let them live with them. And a lot of those be cartel and gang members or people that's just earning under the table income. In addition to those legal migrants getting government benefits. So that's how they're able to afford the taco trucks and the businesses and buy the houses and things like that, because they live with a lot of them in a house, getting a lot of unreported income, in addition to receiving government, state and federal, benefits, government benefits. So, yeah, a lot of them are cartel members too, pushing that fentanyl and human smuggling and things like that. Yeah, a lot of the legal migrants aid and abet those illegal criminal migrants in those cartel activities. So something had to be done. I don't believe in putting no babies in no cages or abusing kids in no kind of way, but something had to be done because it was just getting out of control. So that takes effect today, and we'll just see how that works out. But as far as I'm concerned, as an African American, that's not my fight. For so long in this country, we have been the ones most marginalized, most abused, most beaten, most, denied or discriminated against, mistreated in every way. And the Hispanics and the Asians and all these other middle minorities, they didn't suffer the type of treatment that we suffer. And they're going to get a taste of that now. And that's not our fight, because maybe it'll take some of it off of us, unfortunately, because we've been suffering so long and nobody comes to our aid and our assistance, really. And they're going to get a taste of how it feels to be black in America. They're going to get that type of treatment. And we, as African Americans, that's not our fight. That's not, we have to choose our battles wisely at this point. We need to focus now on becoming less dependent upon employment, being employees, and just becoming financially or economically self-sufficient within our own community at this point, and not being slaves to this system. We have to be more like Native Americans and just kind of separate ourselves. We're here, but we need to disassociate and divest from this system in any way that we can, as much as we can. I know we're going to have to, some things we're going to have to, we're going to have to participate in and be a part of and to accept, but to disassociate and divest from the system as much as we can would be probably the best solution to make the best out of this bad situation at this point for African Americans. So it's about to get bad. And all of these people, if y'all ain't in that 1% and y'all are not in a position to where you don't have to depend on your paycheck, you're not living check to check, you're not working under them, and that you're just in a financial position. If you're not a part of that 1% and you voted and supported Trump, you're about to FA and FO. All of us are, but y'all about to, you the ones that supported and put him in there, despite the fact that he could care less about you. And that's the honesty. I don't dislike Trump. That's my whole thing. I don't dislike him. I'm indifferent to him. But that's just the honest to God truth. Don't care nothing about you. Whether you're a poor white person, middle class, or you're a minority, he doesn't care anything about you. And y'all are going to realize that. All of y'all that went and voted for him and y'all support him, y'all are going to realize that. And now you're talking about, oh, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. He air kissed Melania. I don't know what it's going to take for y'all to understand and realize or to recognize that Trump is not a Christian. Trump is not saved. And that should be a clear indication of what is about to take place in this country and in this world under his administration, when you saw that he did not put his hand on that Bible when he took that oath. That should be your first clue or your first sign of what's to come during this man's second term in office. So, yeah, if only people knew, if only people recognized, Revelation, the book of Revelation is unfolding right before our eyes. What else? What else is in the news? So he pardoned the insurrectionists. And with the pardon, that doesn't mean that a pardon is still a conviction officially. It's still a conviction. It doesn't mean that it got wiped off of their record. That's just oops, you made a mistake, but you still did it. So, yeah. So let's see what else happened. in the past few days over the weekend. There was a 3.5 earthquake in Louisiana near Shreveport and was it Mooresland? Some parts of it's by Shreveport. 3.5 earthquake, and this is like the second one this month that they've had in that area in Louisiana, because it sits on a fault line from what the news report said. Let's see what else. Oh, that volcano. Oh, Taiwan had a 6.4 earthquake. Oh, again, man, Asia is getting tore up. 6.4 earthquake. There were 15 people injured. And I had the video, a little short clip of people sitting in a bar called the Alcoholism Altar. It's a bar, and the camera's just shaking, and they having a 6.4 earthquake, and those people just eating and at the bar drinking like nothing, like nothing's happening. But the Bible said that when Jesus returns, that's how people are going to be eating and drinking and just doing what they do, and that's just exactly, that's what that clip reminds me of. Them people were just unfazed, and there was a 6.4 magnitude earthquake happening. That building could have fell on all of them. Matter of fact, what is the religion? What is the main religion in Taiwan? Do they even believe in Jesus? Main religion in Taiwan. What is the main religion? Oh, see, only 93% of people, approximately 93% of people in Taiwan identify themselves as Buddhist, Taoist, and practitioners of Chinese folk religion. Oh, that's not even, they don't even believe in Jesus over there, so that's why they weren't even phased. I got the clip. It's just a little short clip. Camera just shaking. The world's shaking around them. They still at the bar just carrying on. So, let me ask ChatGPT, is a presidential pardon still a conviction on record? I believe it is. Yeah, it does not erase a conviction from a person's criminal record, but it does offer forgiveness for the offense and can restore certain rights, such as the right to vote or own firearms. So it remains on the record, but the individual is granted clemency by the president. But it's still on the record. And then those individuals may seek to have their records expunged or sealed separately from the pardon, depending on the state laws. So they still can own firearms and things like that, so they can still carry weapons. And like I said, this pretty much is just going to embolden them to possibly pull something else. So yeah. Carrie Underwood and Nelly perform at the president. I already talked about that. The rappers Rick Ross, Nelly, Snoop, and what was the other one? Soulja Boy. Yeah, they performed at Trump's inauguration, but some of them previously had talked so bad about Trump, but now they're performing for him, tap dancing, buck dancing for him. And and if you see the clip, don't look like they were. Them people was just looking at. They weren't hardly even dancing or nothing. They just playing in our faces. That was an insult to the African American community on Martin Luther King Day, pretty much, because they could have found some more dignified talent than getting rappers. Okay, so that's just my humble opinion. Oh yeah, at the inauguration, it sure did. I got clips of Elon Musk. He pretty much let y'all know, like I've been telling y'all, man, this man, he's just about to use a lot of taxpayer dollars, billions and billions of dollars, to play starships and rockets, and to further his own companies, the interests of his own business. He's going to use his government position and his appointment or whatever, this Doge appointment, this Doge position that Trump has given him, to siphon money from the taxpayers in order to pursue his own interests in exploring outer space, colonizing other planets such as Mars, mainly Mars. That's what he talks about. And to further the interests of Tesla, um, SpaceX, Starlink, and all of his companies, X. And he might be trying, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't try to buy TikTok if ByteDance will sell to him. But Trump has made some type of proposal to where TikTok can remain in the United States if the United States becomes a 50% owner. What company becomes a 50% owner? Of course, definitely probably one of his own or either Elon Musk's company. Definitely. You know what that's about. So y'all better just brace yourselves. It's about to get all the way. It's about to get real. What else with this weather? What's this volcano? Volcano Sakurajima erupted for the 15th time yesterday. They said this thing has erupted 15 times in a year, or this year. I don't know if it's this year or in a year. This volcano has erupted 15 times. That's in Japan. With fires in LA, there's still the Palisade fire. They said it's over, probably halfway contained. Like they said, it was like 56% contained earlier today. And what I think the Eatonville fire or whatever, there's still 2 fires going on out there in LA. But then there were more fires set out there. They said the cops arrested an arson suspect in Griffith Park. They said a fire in Griffith Park. There's a homeless man they arrested. He set that fire, and they put it out before it could spread. And mind you, now they said they are running out of water. Water is scarce, so they better start getting some. They're surrounded by an ocean. They better start getting some of that ocean water to fight those fires. Also, this is a weird story. There was a couple they arrested, a 31-year-old convicted arsonist and his 40-something-year-old girlfriend had a fake fire truck and firefighting gear, trying to get into these evacuated areas where the fires are, using a fake fire truck. And they got arrested. And like I said, this man was a convicted arsonist, trying to gain entry into those areas. So I don't know if they're doing it for the purpose of looting or to set more fires. But these people, that just should let you know, like the scripture says, how wickedness has increased. Because who would have thought that people would be this is the second time they've seen people trying to pose as firefighters to try to enter into those restricted areas to loot or possibly set more fires or for whatever nefarious reasons. They're impersonating firefighters. But, these people were arrested and the fire truck was confiscated. But that was the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. But it's just complete lawlessness going on out there at this point on the West Coast in that LA area, where all those fires are happening. They're constantly setting these fires. Now it's just, there's been a lot of scams, people going around asking for donations for pets and, pretending to be victims, affected by the fires, and people running donation scams and price gouging. They said there are looters out there in those affluent areas, not even just affluent areas. They just said looting is just widespread at this point. People are stealing out there. And then the arsons. They're intentionally setting those fires. So it's just, LA is in a state of apocalyptic lawlessness. It has descended into or devolved into complete lawlessness out there. And if you think that's bad, Be around here for when the tribulation happens, when the 7-year tribulation happens. Let's see, what does the Holy Bible describe? I should have said how. How does the Holy Bible describe the tribulation? See, people do not believe, but what's going on out there in LA, that is just a taste of the tribulation. That's just a taste of what's going to happen. All that lawlessness, all that wickedness that's going on out there, it is going to be a lot worse, way worse than what's happening out there. People are going to just start just flat out. First of all, when food gets scarce, people are going to just flat out be robbing their neighbors, robbing and killing other people. If they find out you got food and you got supplies and resources and things like that, they're going to just flat out kill you and take whatever you have. It's just going to be a mess. So, okay, let me ask it again. What will happen during the tribulation? This is just a taste of what's going to happen. But so many people, just like people people probably never thought that this would happen to a city the size of LA with the resources that not only the city of Los Angeles, but the state of California had. People never thought that what's going on out there would happen now. But they see now, I don't know what else can convince people that Bible prophecy is being fulfilled and it's real. It's not a game. It's not a joke. It's not a fairy tale. So, yeah, it's a lot of lawlessness going on out there. I mean, it's just really like the apocalypse out there now. But, so a lot of the things that's happening, I'm going to let ChatGPT tell you what's happening, and you will see that it's taking place right now as we speak. A lot of the things that happened with this whole thing with Trump, even with Trump being inaugurated and entering into these ceasefire and peace agreements, him not putting his hand on the Bible, all of that stuff, if y'all ain't paying attention, if you don't know, if you're not aware, you will miss a lot of it that's taking place and think nothing of it. But I'm gonna just shut up and let her tell you. The tribulation is a concept. Understood as a 7-year. Sounds familiar? Does that sound familiar? 2,000 years. Hmm. No, nope, because I have videos on already on all of those things. I've already discussed that, but pretty much what's happening now is going to get worse. Can you imagine a world far worse? It's going to be way worse because what's going to happen during the tribulation, when the tribulation kicks off, which is called the day of the Lord or the hour of wrath. What's going to happen is that there are some demons that will get released into the earth realm because these demons are going to be way more wicked, way more evil, way more powerful than the ones that are already here. There's going to be a demonic invasion on this earth that is going to commit complete genocide. I mean, worldwide massacres. It's going to kill a lot of humanity. And those within those that are still left, they are going to possess a lot of people, and that's going to cause a lot of crime and evil to be committed without restraint. God is going to let the devil just have at it during this period of time, during this 7-year tribulation. He's going to let Satan just go all out with his demons and to wreak hell on earth amongst humanity. So what's happening in this world now is just a glimpse of, or a precursor or a prelude to the tribulation. So that's why I keep saying, if you have not repented of your sins, prayed and asked the Lord, repented of your sins first, prayed and asked the Lord to forgive you for your sins, and believe in your heart that Jesus is the one true living God, the only Son of God, the sacrificial lamb who was born of a virgin, had an earthly ministry, he was crucified, and he hung, bled, and died on the cross and was resurrected after 3 days, and is now in heaven, about to return. If you believe that in your heart, and you repent of your sins, you pray and ask the Lord, beg his forgiveness, and you also get blood washed, born again, and baptized in the name of Jesus Christ, who is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, only way you will avoid having to suffer that 7-year tribulation period is if you get raptured away from this earth before it happens. Or depending on your belief, if you're a pre-trib, you get raptured before it happens. If you're mid-trib, you get raptured in the middle of it. And if you're post-trib, you get raptured after. Either way it goes, you want to get raptured. But I'm a pre-trib person, and I believe that as long as you do those things, you will not have to be subjected to the tribulation period and the time of Jacob's trouble that's going to hit Israel during the Great Tribulation. I've made several videos explaining all of these things in great detail on YouTube, and I tried to break it down and explain it in layman's terms to where people can understand it and not get confused and know what I'm talking about. But my thing is this: why because there will be tribulation saints who will survive all type of extensive persecution and suffering, and will come out of the tribulation and be saved, but you're going to have to suffer. And there are some saints that will be martyred, that will be killed because they reject the worship of the Antichrist. So in order to save yourself from having to go through that and to get raptured before all of these things happen, it's better to be a raptured saint than to be a tribulation saint, in my opinion. I mean, both of them are good, but wouldn't you prefer to be a raptured saint as opposed to being a martyred saint or a tribulation saint who survives, because you're going to have to suffer so severely um, when you can just be raptured. That's my whole thing. That's my opinion. Um, only thing we can do is just tell people, just sound the alarm and just tell people, it's about to happen, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not. You can accept Jesus or reject him. He's still coming back regardless. And that's the only thing we can do is just keep warning people. But back to the news, and I'm going to let y'all go. So we've seen all these disruptions in the volcanoes and the earthquakes. Like I said, there was an earthquake, another earthquake in Louisiana. They make the second earthquake this month. The 15th volcanic eruption in Sakurajima. That's in Sakurajima. That was in, I think it was Japan, Sakurajima. And then Taiwan, there was a 6.4 earthquake. Then the fires are still raging out in LA on the West Coast, and they said that there's going to be more high winds. And like I told y'all, people are setting those fires too. So with those high winds still raging, they said it's going to be some more tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. But it just looks like those fires out there are just, they're not even close to being contained at this point. And these people are steady setting these fires. So 27 people have lost their lives so far, and like I said, there's widespread scamming, looting, price gouging, and continuous arson being committed out there. So, Lord have mercy on those people out there. Small brush fire closed lanes on 405 freeway in Granada Hills. They don't know how that fire got started. It's out in LA. What else? Oh, over in let me do this first. Elon Musk. I told y'all that he held the. I don't know if I discussed that, but at the inauguration when he gave his speech, he did the he did that Hitler that Nazi salute, or was it a Hail Satan salute? He held Hitler, or either he held Satan, one of the two, or both. But he sure did it. And that's at the same time he promised to put men on Mars, and then he gave those Nazi or satanic salutes, and there's no denying that. I don't care how people will try to blow that off or downplay it or sugarcoat it. That was either a Hail Hitler or that was a Nazi salute, or that was a satanic salute. That was a salute to Satan. He was hailing Hitler, or either hailing Satan, or both. So, what else? I think I went over everything. Melania looked like she was dressed for a funeral. She just really looked she did not look happy at all, in my opinion. And that whole chemistry between her and President Trump is just so frigid. It was probably more frigid than that weather that they have out there right now. That this polar vortex, you talk about polar vortex, that marriage is suffering through a polar vortex, and you can tell in her face. She wore that hat, I believe she did it to cover her eyes, because she didn't want people to see her eyes, because she just did not look happy at all. She looked like she was at a funeral, attending a funeral. I think they're getting Barron geared up to have a career in politics. He looks the part, definitely. And you can tell that Baron is the favorite. He's the baby and he's the favorite. He's definitely the golden child. It used to be Ivanka, but it's Baron now. That Baron is blossoming into his man. He's a man now, and he's definitely his father's favorite, and they are grooming him to be a politician and to be a political leader. He definitely looks the part, and he has the pedigree to do it. So, yeah. But Melania did not look happy at all. I wonder if Elon Musk and Melania would have an affair. Are they having an affair? I'm not discounting that at all. I wouldn't put that past them at all. Not at all. There's no honor amongst those people. They're around about the same age. Hmm. Um. They say you gotta watch the people, watch your circle. Be careful who you have around you. Hmm. Uh. JD Vance, in my opinion, I don't know. It's just I get puppet closet DL vibes from him. That's the feeling that I get. And that wife, just a submissive. She just I don't know. That's a weird situation. I don't know. I don't get that. And it's like I said, these Hindus, all these Indian immigrant Hindus, that means something. It's signifying something. There's something biblical about it and spiritual about that. Um, and God hasn't given it completely to me yet, but I just feel it in here that there's something spiritual and biblical going on with that. Uh, but yeah, Elon Musk just gave the full Nazi salute. Sure did. Satanic salute. Sure did. And he's gonna take y'all money and play with more rockets that's gonna blow up because God ain't about to let him go to Mars. He'll blow up every one of them, and whoever tries to go up there in them, he's gonna blow them all up. He's gonna blow them right back down. That's not gonna happen because man does not have permission to be up there on Mars, in the cosmos, or on any other planets that God didn't put him on. That's not gonna happen. That's a modern day Tower of Babel situation. So why don't he go up there in his own rockets? That's what if he got so much trust and faith and confidence in him, why don't he go up in his own rockets? I haven't known him to go up. Maybe I need to do the research. I haven't known him to take not one trip or one mission into his own spacecraft. So, anyway, there's also a situation where they're killing dogs. They're culling dogs in Morocco in preparation of the FIFA. They're hosting the FIFA World Cup or whatever. I think that's like soccer. It's like the Olympics, but it's FIFA. And they're culling dogs over in Morocco. They said they're going to kill like 3 million stray dogs out there in Morocco because Morocco is an Islamic country. They don't worship and love and revere dogs like Americans do. Uh, so they're culling and they're going to kill 3 million dogs out there in preparation of the FIFA. It says the home of football. It's soccer. It's pretty much soccer, the soccer cup. And they're going to get rid of those stray dogs running around on the street in that country. So I say send them to China, huh? Because China would love them dogs. That way, the people don't starve in China and make some type of deal, negotiation or, some type of pact or agreement with China and send the dogs out there instead of killing them since, they want to get rid of them. They said 3 million dogs. Dang, it's that many strays running out there in Morocco. Because Muslims, Arabs, Muslims, they don't fool with dogs like that. So I say they can send them to China. China will get them off their hands. But Costco is about to have a strike. Oh, goodness gracious. Costco strike. And another one on Teamsters plan a strike at Costco on February. And another one. So this is jacked up. So yeah. He's talking about the Trump signed sweeping actions on immigration, launches fight to end birthright citizenship. That's gonna take an act of Congress to do that. He renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Trump executive action delays TikTok ban for 75 days. I mean, what? Oh, to get it sold and to gain ownership, I guess that's what he's going to give themselves 75 days to, do what they're going to do. Which, like I said, Elon Musk or Trump, they're going to have their hands in that all the way. Trump threatens 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada on February 1st. He declared two-gender edict. So there's no, a binary and gender fluidity and all that stuff. He just got rid of that. There's two genders. That's a good thing. I agree with that. He withdrew from the World Health Organization. I'm telling you, he's about to do a lot of damage. Few of his things are good, but for the most part, he's about to do a lot of damage. So yep, the illegals, look like the jig is up. And that's because them cartels was flooding this country with fentanyl. And a lot of them white methamphetamines and fentanyl, they were flooding this stuff. And it was messing with it's killing and got a lot of white people strung out and caused a lot of white lives with this whole fentanyl epidemic. So yeah. Trump declares border emergency to use U.S. military to repel forms of invasion. Yeah, they're gonna go full. They're gonna go full cowboy on those cartels down there, and the cartels are no match for the American military. It's just not gonna happen. They're no match for it. So they can do whatever, but the jig is up, and Trump is not wrong for that at all. Something had to be done. It's just kind of, with the brutality of putting those kids in cages. I didn't agree with that at all. But the whole thing is this. Them trying to game the system and have babies in order to stay over here. Something had to be done about that. And I think that there could be a more civil way of dealing with that. And you just give them the ultimatum. You either leave your kid with someone who's over here legally, or you take your kids with you when we deport you. Those are the options, nothing else. So, all right, so that's about it. I think that's it. So I'm gonna let this stop right here because it's getting late and I need to upload this and it takes a while. But all right, you TikTokers, y'all got 75 more days. We'll see what happens with that. But all right, y'all, be blessed, and I will be back, if not tomorrow, then Wednesday. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope you all have a blessed week. Stay tuned because you just brace yourselves. This man has been inaugurated, and you just brace yourselves. And saints, stay prayed up, and just pray for God's protection and preservation, that He preserves you and He keeps you throughout these perilous times to come and that we're experiencing right now. All right, y'all. Peace.
Police arrest a homeless man accused of starting a small brush fire at Griffith Park this afternoon. This is video here from Sky Fox. Los Angeles firefighters were able to quickly knock it down. That fire burned less than an acre. Right now, crews are mopping up hot spots.
Sakurajima volcano in Japan erupted again on January 19th, its 15th eruption this year. Ash plumes rose 2,000 meters with rocks scattered up to 700 meters. A Level 3 alert is in place, restricting access.
If you live near Shreveport, Blanchard, or Mooringsport, you may have felt an earthquake a few hours ago. The 3.5 magnitude earthquake happened around 2 this afternoon, according to U.S. Geological Survey. Its depth was recorded at about 3.1 miles. This is the second recorded earthquake this month, with the first earthquake happening on January 6th near McCain Creek between Mooringsport and Blanchard at a 3.0 magnitude.
Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, and Soulja Boy perform at the Crypto Ball celebrating Trump's inauguration.
Nah, chill. I'm not performing. I am in Washington, D.C. right now, but I'm not performing. It's a private vibe I'm doing with my brother Snoop Dogg.
You'd rather enjoy the pool than paying someone else's. Get out of the pool. It matters where you stay. Conrad Hotels and Resorts.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
My mother.
Rose, man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as mosquitoes, nigga. What's going down? That's that crypto, see? They let a real crip up in the crypto ball.
Why is this so stupid?
Ooh. Bang, bang.
Hard, rip it real hard.
You know you're gonna make the most money this year. Let me hear you say, huh? Let's go. Team work, one nation, under God, real getting money from the start. Make some noise.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
About noon, just thought that I had to be Ready to make it different, so back on up. Cause you know we about to trip shit up. Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, yeah, you gon' need a trouble. Cause anytime you gonna treat that, we shoot low down. And death row is the label that we unfadable, so please don't try to fake this. But I'm back to the lecture and pain. What's up, yo? Perfection is perfected, so I'm letting them understand. From a young G's perspective.
Thanks for tuning in to 9mag TV.
We are the port of entry of El Chaparral. Breaking news for everybody that is watching. The CBP1 app, if you go into the application, it will say that every appointment from now on, it is not valid. So for everybody that is watching, CBP1 app has been canceled definitely now after Donald Trump has been sworn into the president, into the White House to become the 47th president of the United States of America. So breaking news from the port of entry of El Chaparral, the CBP1 app has been eliminated as we speak, as right now, as migrants are in the other side waiting to enter on this particular day. That is January 20th. They had an appointment and apparently they are not going to enter under this application. It has been shut down. So for everybody that is watching, CBP1 app has been shut down. Into the application, it shows that every information that you are trying to enter, it is going to be non-valid.
Yes! We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities. Secure borders, sensible spending, basic stuff. And we're going to take Doge to Mars. I mean, can you imagine how awesome it will be to have American astronauts plant the flag on another planet for the first time? Bam! Yeah!
It wouldn't be a Trump event without an awkward Melania moment. Donald Trump has been sworn in as America's president for the second time, but it was his wife Melania who had people talking. The incoming First Lady wore a custom silk wool Adam Lopez coat and skirt, and a matching wide-brimmed hat that covered up most of her face. It was a dark contrast to the 2017 inauguration, where she wore this iconic powder blue Ralph Lauren dress. So why such a big change? The hat wasn't just a style choice, it also served a practical purpose, as you can see here. Yep, Trump went to kiss his wife and fell several inches short of her face, leaving the pair to air kiss instead, and leaving viewers wondering whether this was the real reason behind Melania's fashion choices this time around. But hey, if anyone can bring back the wide-brimmed hat, it's Melania Trump.
Keen-eyed observers may have noticed Donald Trump did not put his hand on the Bible when he did his swearing in during the inauguration ceremony on Monday.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute.
As he gave the oath of office, he did not place his hands on the Bible, as is traditionally done by most presidents, but he also wasn't the first president not to do so. Other presidents, such as Calvin Coolidge and John Quincy Adams, also have not used a Bible in their oath of office. And actually, the Constitution holds that only the words that are said during the inauguration ceremony have to be said when the president swears into office. There is no actual thing in the Constitution that says that a Bible must be used. That is just one of the unique, fun parts of our history.
So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
For more stories just like these, be sure to subscribe to the New York Post right here on YouTube.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
We head to Washington for President Donald Trump's inauguration.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States. The office of President of the United States.
In a break from tradition, Carrie Underwood performs following President Trump being sworn in as the 47th president, performing America the Beautiful. And after some tech issues, sings a cappella with a little help from various heads of state.
From sea to shining sea.
Also taking part in today's events, rapper Nelly, who will perform at the Liberty Ball. That's one of the 3 events the president will attend this evening. Now, Nelly has been receiving heavy criticism on social media for agreeing to perform, but he isn't apologizing for it.
This isn't politics. The politics for me, it's over. He won. He's the president. He's the commander-in-chief of what I would like to say is the best country in the world.
Over the weekend, Dave Chappelle also chooses not to take sides, closing his SNL monologue with a sincere plea to the incoming president.
Man, remember, whether people voted for you or not, they're all counting on you. Whether they like you or not, they're all counting on you. The whole world is counting on you. I mean this when I say this. Good luck. Please. Do better next time. Please, all of us, do better next time.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.
All right, breaking news here this afternoon, a brush fire in Granada Hills. Eliana Moreno live for us in News Chapter 4. Eliana.
And this is adjacent to the northbound side of the 405 freeway at Rinaldi. It's a 3-acre brush fire that broke out here at about 4 o'clock. You see that the LA City Fire Department is already on scene with multiple hand crews, and it appears to be mostly a grass fire, vegetation type of incident here with multiple units, though, blocking the northbound side of the freeway. So this is really going to have a major impact on this northbound 405. Traffic is at a complete stop, and there's really no way to get these drivers off the roadway. So all of the people that you see here are simply stuck. If you normally do take that northbound 405 freeway, your best alternate is to take the eastbound 118 to the 5 north, and then you can reconnect northbound 5 from there. That's really the best alternate around this, because again, at this point, it's unknown how long these lanes are going to be shut down, but you can see that the fire department hard at work to put this one out. The southbound side of the 405 freeway, though, remains open. That's latest here from Granada Hills in News Chopper 4. I'm Eliana Moreno. Let's send it back down to you in the studio.
Eliana, quickly before you go, we're talking about the freeway there, but everybody can't get it out of their heads what happened the past couple of weeks here. How close are the nearest homes?
The nearest homes are actually not that close by, which is good, because they're on the opposite side of the freeway. You see those apartment complexes there. So we're good in terms of that. The side of the freeway that the fire is at is actually adjacent to the cemetery. But you can see there are some large trees there, so that's of concern as well. We do see police officers staging there in the area. And just beyond that, we do have a Holy Cross Medical Hospital to give you a better idea of where we're at. Lots of homes there. But again, directly next to where the fire is taking place, it would be the cemetery on one side and the freeway on the other.
All right, Eliana Moreno live for us in News Chapter 4. About a 3-acre brush fire here in Granada Hills.
Authorities in Los Angeles are sharing details about a strange incident involving fighting wildfires.
saying they had to arrest a couple who were impersonating firefighters. The pair from Oregon tried to enter an evacuation zone with a fake fire truck, even sporting fake gear when they were stopped near the Palisades fire. The LA County Sheriff's Office says 31-year-old Dustin Nell, a convicted arsonist, and his wife, 44-year-old Jennifer Nell, are charged with impersonating firefighters and entering an evacuation zone over the weekend. An LAPD patrol unit driving near the Palisades fire spotted the phony fire truck, which they said was purchased at an auction and emblemized with the name of a fictitious fire department. Police impounded the fire truck and say the couple claimed to be from the non-existent Roaring River Fire Department in Oregon. Investigators say they also confiscated the pair's turnout gear, helmets, and radios. Police have yet to release a motive for the crime. The husband arrested in the incident was sentenced to 5 years in prison in 2017 for an arson spree in the city of Woodburn, Oregon, targeting multiple locations in the town. His 5-year prison sentence was followed by 3 years of supervised probation. It is unknown if he was still under supervision at the time of his arrest. This is not the first time somebody's been caught impersonating a firefighter near the Los Angeles wildfires. Authorities say they arrested a 34-year-old man earlier this month wearing a firefighter's uniform and carrying a radio as he looted items within an evacuation zone. Looting has become a major problem for authorities, already trying to get these historic wildfires under control. Dozens of people have reportedly been arrested for criminal activities in evacuation zones since the fires erupted. For more on this story, download the Straight Arrow News app or go to san.com.
The unbelievable images of the fires that ripped through Los Angeles. As the relentless flames from the Palisades and Eaton fires devastated neighborhoods. Smoldering cars lined the streets after residents were desperately evacuating their homes. Criminals were taking aim, looking to take advantage of those who were desperately getting out of harm's way.
LAPD officers are working around the clock to prevent looting in impacted areas and will identify and apprehend those responsible.
Police say a Ring camera captured several men breaking into a home on a street lined with multi-million-dollar properties. And this arrest, also in the Palisades area, bolt cutters and other burglary tools found inside the vehicle the suspects were driving.
Looting is not just a crime against property, it also takes away any sense of security from evacuated residents, and certainly it's not being tolerated at all.
This man arrested by sheriff's deputies for impersonating a firefighter in the Palisades evacuation zone. The LA County Sheriff says he was caught burglarizing a home. In the week that fires ravaged the LA area, law enforcement say they arrested close to 100 people in connection with the wildfires, including 10 for burglary. One was allegedly using a watch duty app on his phone to track evacuation zones, and law enforcement is on the lookout for other potential crimes.
We're not just looking for burglars and looters committing crimes on the street, but we're also focused on anybody who's involved in any kind of scam. Whether you're asking for donations for pets or whatever you think you're doing to make money, we're telling you, don't do it.
Joining me now is the Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman. Mr. Hochman, the fires, of course, are consuming Los Angeles County. It has affected everyone in this area, and I think what is so heartbreaking for many of us is these additional crimes that are happening between the looting and the price gouging. How are you handling all of this?
Well, you're absolutely right. The role of the firefighters fighting these fires around the clock, the role of law enforcement that's been out there literally 24 hours a day with an all-hands-on-deck attitude. But there is a second element. There is a criminal element that is looking at this tragedy as an opportunity to profit. And I have said and cast out a warning to the criminals out there that the only question is not if, but when they get arrested, they will be prosecuted and punished to the maximum extent. So I don't want any confusion later that somehow they thought this wasn't a crime or that it will be a slap on the wrist. You know, we've already announced the filing of 10 different charges against looters and arsonists. With the looters, those sentences will range right now, maximum sentences, from 6 years to 9 years to 22 years to life in prison. Against the arsonists, 9 years. We're going to be going after price gougers. Those are people who are particularly greedy, and they look at this as a way to profit. And the laws that are on the books say that if you have a hotel or a room or a house to rent, and you had a price before the wildfires, you can increase that price 10%. If you go beyond 10%, you're looking at criminal and civil penalties and, quite candidly, public shaming.
We were all so outraged when we saw a suspect who authorities said was dressed as a firefighter to gain access to some of the evacuation zones. Horrified. Thank goodness this person has been arrested. How do you get justice here?
Well, sadly, it wasn't just one situation. We've actually received reports of multiple situations of people being dressed as firefighters, people dressed as law enforcement, people pretending to be residents, claiming that they live in a particular address when they don't. We even had people pretending to be clergy, trying to get into these evacuation zones. And again, law enforcement is doing a great job. They're arresting them. The DA's office, the LA City Attorney's office, we will prosecute these people, and they will be held maximally accountable for their actions.
Do you even have enough people to follow up on all of these tips and complaints? Just about anyone you talk to will tell you about a price gouging situation.
We are working with the LA City Attorney's office, the Attorney General of the state of California, the U.S. Attorney's office. So amongst the various prosecuting organizations that are looking at this, we have over 1,000 prosecutors that can be available to deal with these situations. We have literally hundreds of investigators from the Sheriff's Department, the LAPD, and local law enforcement that are also looking at these cases. And sadly, these cases are not just focused right now on looting, arson, price gouging. What we're starting to see is people who are engaging in financial scams to take advantage of people in their lowest moments when they've lost everything. We've seen that with fake charitable scams. We're asking people who want to donate money or services, please check out the charity. Make sure it's legitimate. Don't ever give cash. Don't even give Bitcoin. Make sure that when you give your money over, that you can make sure that you verify that the organization receiving it is a real organization that is doing what it says it's going to do. And if anyone pressures you to give money, that is a huge red flag that it is most likely a fake organization.
And then what about these people who are setting fires? They're being tackled by residents. They're walking around with blow torches. You have one person who was arrested who admitted that he enjoyed setting fires, enjoyed the chaos of it. How are we supposed to feel safe like this?
Thankfully, residents are bringing to the attention of law enforcement immediately these situations. We've actually already arrested people not connected, by the way, to the major fires. These are in surrounding cities where people just view this as an opportunity to light stuff on fire. They are looking to go to prison for 9 years for these various types of arson when we prove these cases beyond a reasonable doubt in court.
Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
What do you do when your country is set to host the world's most popular sporting event? If you ask Morocco, they may say this: clean up your streets and launch a massacre, because that's exactly what this North African country is doing. They are preparing to host the 2030 FIFA World Cup, so they're culling stray dogs and puppies with poisons, gunshots and traps. Rabat plans to kill 3 million dogs over the next 5 years. That's 30 lakh dogs to be killed. Of course, there is massive backlash, and FIFA has a PR scandal on their hands. But will they do something about it? And is Morocco an isolated case? Here's a report.
3 million. That's how many dogs Morocco is planning to kill. Why? Ironically, to prepare for a joyous spectacle, the FIFA World Cup.
We were very happy to receive the news. Today, the Moroccan dream came true.
We all heard that Morocco will organize the 2030 World Cup in partnership with Spain and Portugal, and the news made us very happy. We are all sure that Morocco will be ready for that responsibility.
Back in 2023, this is how Moroccans reacted when they found out that their country will co-host the 2030 FIFA World Cup with Spain and Portugal. This is the world's most popular sporting event, and Morocco is only the second African nation to host it after South Africa. It's a massive opportunity. So how is Rabat preparing for it? By building what could be the world's largest football stadium, by upgrading transportation infrastructure, and by cleaning up the streets to reportedly make them nicer for the fans who will flock to the Moroccan cities 5 years later. But by road cleanup, they don't mean a paint job or a trash pickup. They are talking about a massacre, about culling millions of stray dogs and puppies across the nation. According to reports, this has been happening for months now, allegedly through horrifying methods. Animal rights groups say dogs are being poisoned with strychnine. This is a toxic chemical which is used as a pesticide. It is being directly injected into the dogs' bodies or being fed to them. Plus, thousands of dogs are being trapped with clamped devices, then transported to facilities where they are being killed. Some methods are even quicker. Reports say gunmen are patrolling the streets and shooting stray animals to death. This mass slaughter of dogs is being condemned globally. Conservationists are appalled. Prominent rights campaigners, including Jane Goodall, have written to the International Football Association and are demanding immediate action against Morocco. They want these horrific acts to be halted immediately, and they have questioned how football fans would feel visiting Morocco. Would they travel despite the brutality? Morocco is not an isolated case. International games have a dog problem. In the run-up to global games, countries often execute a brutal so-called clean-up operation to make cities presentable to tourists, hoping that they boost the economy. We saw this prior to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, when China sent hundreds of thousands of cats and dogs to death camps. We saw this again in 2014 before the Sochi Olympics, when thousands of stray dogs were culled in Russia. It became an international scandal as photographs of dogs dying in the streets were shared widely. And in protest, many Olympic athletes adopted Sochi dogs. Despite the outcry, months later, Brazil reportedly killed stray dogs before hosting the 2014 FIFA World Cup. More recently, in 2022, Qatar was on the receiving end of global outrage as it geared up to host the World Cup. 4 men opened fire on animals in a compound, slaughtering 29 dogs. So if Morocco continues with this massacre, FIFA has a PR disaster on their hands. It's as if the countries never learn. There are many humane alternatives to controlling street dog populations. They require some amount of planning and empathy. But countries would rather resort to cruelty and opt for the quick fix, which may or may not do its job and boost the FIFA economy. But at what cost when it's blood money?
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on First Post.